Save the world and you'll be saving mankind and every being on it. I'm looking at something that is so worrisome that bothers everyone, to the extent that the president has likened it to a civil war. This morning is the ogoniland oil pollution. Joining us to look at that is Ms. Briggs. She's a Niger Delta activist as well as a public affairs analyst. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, when we saw all of that, we thought it was just the ogoniland. Again, we heard about the case brought before against the Shell and its subsidiary, SPDC, by the Bodo community. Maybe you bring us up to speed and let us in on that particular issue.
Well, I mean, the issue of environmental devastation and abuse in the Niger Delta has been a long-term issue. It's not an issue that is restricted only to Ogoniland. The issue of devastation is crisscross the whole of the Niger Delta. But definitely Ken Sarawiwa brought the issue of environmental devastation to the international fora and unfortunately paid a heavy price, including some others, about 8 others of his kith and kin were murdered alongside with him. It has gone on for a very, very long time. So for us in the Niger Delta, this report and also the judgment against Shell and by a great extension against the federal government and the Ministry of Environment in Nigeria, and particularly also in the Niger Delta states that are affected by the devastation, is not a great news. But definitely it has vindicated every Niger Delta person that is affected by environmental devastation. It has vindicated people that have been involved in fighting against the oil companies, NGOs, and individuals and communities. And finally, the communities in Niger Delta are finding themselves in a situation where they can actually take Shell to court, or any other oil company to court, and actually get a judgment. But the federal government is a stakeholder alongside the Niger Delta people and the Niger Delta governors and states, and all of them must step up and do something about the environment. So for us in the Niger Delta, it's a drop in the ocean, but definitely a heavy vindication of our position.
Here, so that they say seeing is believing. Until we get to see this particular one, we'll all ask ourselves if truly it's just a drop in the ocean. We have a special one here on the oil spill in Ogoniland and other communities.
Nigeria, and indeed the rest of the world, woke up during the week to a shocking revelation of a destructive environmental degradation in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria. The year 1995 will be remembered as the year when a foremost activist from Ogoniland, Ken Sarawiwa, was hanged by the then military regime. Today, Ogoniland is back in the news following a United Nations Environmental Programme report submitted to President Goodluck Jonathan. Shell Petroleum Development Company has been indicted for a succession of oil spills over half a century. The report, which is a result of a 3-year investigation, found heavy contamination of land and underground water, a failure of Shell to meet minimum practice standard, a systematically contaminated 1,000 square kilometers of Ogoniland with disastrous consequences for human health and wildlife.
They are all politicians, promise and fail. So I don't like them. You see? Huh? Thank you. I'm not happy. Okay. I know they're gaining from this, but we who are suffering from the effect of this thing, we are nothing. And we are suffering it. People who are not even nearer to this thing are enjoying it. They're feeling it. No better air. You can't stay here in the evening time.
Many have also estimated that the magnitude of devastation as contained in the report is comparable to the Gulf of Mexico spills. According to the report, the environmental restoration of Ogoniland could prove to be the world's most wide-ranging and long-term oil cleanup exercise ever undertaken.
Environmental challenges, environmental pollution are probably even more critical because pollutants can migrate to any direction that you don't even expect. So I believe that UNEP, in addition to helping us to conduct these studies, UNEP, being an organ of the UN, will also see how they can assist us to solve this major problem that we have.
Shell has not operated in Ogoniland since 1993, but accepts responsibility for oil spill. The company blames on theft, vandalism and bunkering.
There's nothing like violence. You could see that everything is intact. We did not tamper with their distance. So there's nothing like violence.
There must be something that the community feels that they lose if something happens to it. So that's stake. Whether you like it, you call it equity. If you like, you call that. But in my view, if the word equity seems controversial, you can also add it as a cost of production. In other words, if you are producing $5 per barrel, then why don't you add another 5 barrels, for instance, and say it costs us $10 to produce 1 barrel of oil, and that extra $5 is the cost of production which you keep for the community, maybe in sort of trust fund for their own development.
The statement from its management in reaction reads in part, quote, "We are also committed to cleaning up oil spill and restoring the surrounding land."
But until effective action is taken to curb all illegal activities, there is little that can be done to bring an end to the problem of spills.
The best practices that this same company uses outside Africa should be adopted here, because it appears they are operating two standards. One standard for the developed world, where they have their parent companies, and another standard for Africa.
The UNEP report estimates a 25 to 30-year cleanup period that will cost $1 billion. Beyond the spills, there's also another form of degradation, gas flaring, which violates international conventions on protecting the environment. Nigeria is heavily dependent on oil production for huge revenue earnings. Isn't it time to take another look at the petroleum industry bill, an act which seeks a better fiscal regime for oil and gas production with a view to passing it into law? The UNEP report berates Shell's operations in Ogoniland. Again, while that report subsists, elsewhere a British High Court has ordered Shell to pay compensation of potentially more than $400 million for 2 oil spills in 2008 at Bodo community, also in Nigeria's Niger Delta region. Shell has also accepted liability, the report says. Whether for operational reasons or theft, oil spills associated with Shell activities in Nigeria certainly leave much to be desired. Its code of conduct creed to the host community is in sharp contrast to the barrage of allegations over their practices. Livelihoods and food sources have been destroyed. Ogoni communities also face serious health risks owing to the large-scale contamination of drinking water. It is time to clean up, and many want that done pretty fast.